have it like the update selfie is just again another icon. We have it whether they want to be an within 100, eradicate tobacco. They can place just a photo and become a tobacco control advocate on that. So again, we have updates and initiatives. So latest updates with regards to tobacco eradication will be available in this thing. So we have another icon is like campaigns. So campaign is like usually Mac will have different types of campaigns in the year thing. So so far we have done like some 6 campaigns and 5 campaigns, and one campaign we need to mention is like the ongoing campaign we need to mention is like the Green Line campaign. Next. So this is Green Line campaign is just mainly to creating tobacco free zones through Green Line for in and around the education institutions. Next. So this Green Line campaign was launched in the year 2018, and it was launched by the Deputy Director of Health Department and along with the School Education Department. So this Green Line campaign mainly to create awareness on the tobacco free zone, and we have a column for the Green Line campaign. So it is just able to mark the 100 yards of the education institutions. Can you please go to next slide? So we have a geo mapping on this tobacco monitor application. It is mainly created to monitoring process of this 100 yards. You can able to see the red marking line is the school. The oval shaped red marking is the school where we have marked the 100 yards of the education institutions. So these are the shops where the school. Can you please go to previous slide? These are the shops where it has been marked, and it is around the education institution. That is the school around the 100 yards of the education institution has been marked during the monitoring process through this tobacco monitor application. Yeah. Next. So again, for the children and for the adults, we have this CAT program linked to this tobacco monitor application. So it is like Children Against Tobacco. So it is a student movement. We are mostly working with children's teachers and college students, and mostly with the people, those who are engaged with the 100 yards of the education institutions. So we created this movement towards work to tobacco free environment, and anyone interested to join this movement, they can just directly approach us for this through this tobacco monitor application. Next slide. Yeah. Our outreach, we have a tobacco monitor application used in 9 Indian states and union territories. We have it in Delhi, Maharashtra, Punjab, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Pondicherry, Uttar Pradesh, and Goa. And we have crossed like 1,000 downloads for this tobacco monitor application. And so far we received the complaints of like 1,307 complaints related to tobacco violations. So this is our greatest achievement in launching this tobacco monitor app. Next. So authentication of the complaint is like the person we have divided the authentication into 5 phases, like from starting till the end. Once the complaint has been closed, the authentication will be reach the phase 5 thing, and the complainant will receive a message like your complaint has been closed and these are the action has been taken. So this is the authentication complaint has been given to the complainant. Next. So we have like couple of success stories, and this Olympiad, classmate handwriting Olympiad has been marked in this tobacco monitor application, where tobacco industry was sponsored for the 7th season, and we just had a complaint on this, and immediately the next season has been changed to Nutella. Classmate has been removed for the next season, and the 8th season will be the Nutella. And for this we got an order also. So we received in Tamil Nadu, we have an order like 242 order, where no tobacco industry should do any programs or sponsor the school or giving the sponsor to the school. So we have an order in the first order received in Tamil Nadu for in this regard. So next. So again, we work on films also. So Violation Tamil movie, we have a first look poster of this popular film which runs in Tamil Nadu. So we have Violation in this poster. It was marked in the tobacco monitor application. And so the first look poster has reached millions of followers, like in Tamil Nadu, like even the children are attracted towards these posters. So we gave a complaint on that, and the complaint has reached a mass level. And the production house has given us the apology letter, like we immediately the poster has been removed from the social media, but the social media has the poster has been received more, in a quick of fraction of second it has been moved. So the media has, we got the support from the media. So first they released the photos of the first look poster, and later once the complaint has been received, so the media itself started removing those posters and just marking the actors poster without any violations. So it was a great thing. But Tobacco Monitor also made it for targeting the film industry continuously, and we have some controversies over Sarkar poster in social media, and it has become a big issue. So it was just Tamil Nadu, in Tamil Nadu, wherever you go, you can started seeing this poster. So Tobacco Monitor application has straight away does a complaint, and we have moved to court also. So next thing is the Maha movie poster. You can go to next. So we got some apology letter from the production house, stating that we have giving an apology that we have been removing this poster from the smoking poster from the social media. Again, the same case for the world famous lover also. We received an letter of apology from the production house, stating that we'll immediately remove the first look poster from the social media. So next. So these are various, we continuously work with movies. We get continuous complaints from the Tobacco Monitor application for movies. So these are some of the movie violations reported and action has been taken. Next. This is like in Karnataka, we have, one complaint has been raised from like a sale of chewable tobacco products in the petty shops, and immediately the complaint has been filed to the government officials, and enforcement has been taken with the FSSAI and through products. You can see some pictures over there. So in a particular shop, we can able to seize like 44 products in a small shop. So immediately the Karnataka government has taken enforcement on a thing, and all the products has been removed from the shop. It was came from the Tobacco Monitor application. And one more product is like Kaja Bidis. Can you please go to before slide? Yeah. Pictures of Kaja Bidis advertisement to promote sales, and they have been giving so much of offers to buy this product, and it has been reported in the Tobacco Monitor app, and immediately action has been taken to stop this advertising in Tamil Nadu. Next. So these are some of the, you can move on. Yeah. These are some of the direct and indirect advertisements, and it has been marked in this geo mapping to trace it, and immediately the shops were raided, and it has been removed. And e-cigarette violations, its online platform has been reported in Tobacco Monitor app. So next. Investigation on Tobacco Monitor e-cigarette sale has been done through Tobacco Monitor app. Yeah. Next. Again, in spite of the ban, there is sale in the online. So we reported this to the health department, and immediately the thing has been happened. And next. So this is one of the film complaint we have done for the Madras Film Screening Club's violation. Next. Yeah. Before there was a smoking scene in the Facebook, and immediately we reported them, and after intervention they just removed and given us an apology of thing. And violations almost happening in all the medium, and one is the TikTok platform, and again we got a complaint from the Tobacco Monitor app. So next. This is the feedback we got it from the TikTok. The violation pictures has been there, and after the complaint thing, and the the video has been removed from the TikTok, and still we are working with TikTok to remove mass videos. Yeah. Next. So this is the thing about Tobacco Monitor, and the participants watching this session, and you can download it from the Play Store or the App Store for the Tobacco Monitor app, and the experts team will be working behind for the Tobacco Monitor app to close down the violations wherever happening. And Tobacco Monitor also monitors in the district level and also in the state level. And we have a state conveners who monitors through this Tobacco Monitor application. Like wherever the complaints is happening, it will be reported through that to us. Next. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Prema, for telling us how we can be involved in the spreading of awareness as well as being a part of being change makers. The audience watching, you can please download the Tobacco Monitor app and be change makers yourself. Also, I would like to add here that MACT has, with the help of MACT and their support, even GSA has a Children Against Tobacco, a CAD chapter. So those of the students who are interested to be a part of it can also approach GSA. And moving on from that, I would like to invite Ms. Rasaki Malik. She is the chair for our next session on road safety, the biggest challenge for India's youth. We have with us Ms. Malik is a strategic communication specialist at Vital Strategies. She is the core group faculty for Tobacco Control Leadership Program by John Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. She holds MPhil and master's degree in sociology from JNU Delhi and bachelor's degree in sociology from LSR Delhi. We are highly obliged to have you here with us today, ma'am. And any questions that you will have in those sessions or any of the previous sessions of this session, you can comment in the live chat box on YouTube. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Gurpreet, for the introduction. And I think now we are moving to another topic, which is related to public health, which is road safety. And why we are talking about road safety to youth and children and their parents is because although you may not be driving, if you are below 18 years of age, but you may be a passenger on a bike, or you may be a pedestrian, your parents drive, and there are a lot of road safety issues that we deal with. So now, before I introduce our speaker, I'm just going to tell you why we are talking about road safety. So by 2030, it has been projected that road traffic crashes will become the 5th leading cause of death. And among young adults, it is already the main killer. And you may be aware of certain risk, behaviors on roads, such as speeding, drink driving, lack of or improper use of helmet use, lack of use of seat belt, etc., that are causing crashes, deaths, and injuries. And I want to just mention here and make a comment here that in road safety, which is a public health issue, and it needs a lot of prioritization in India, and we don't call accidents, but we call them crashes. We call them crashes because these are completely preventable. And if you think about accidents, by accidents we mean that they just happened, but whereas we call them crashes because they are preventable. And also recently in September 2019, the government of India has brought into effect the Motor Vehicle Amendment Act, which has a lot of provisions, and a lot of states are supposed to implement it. So I'll just pause here, and I'm going to now introduce our speaker, who's going to talk about this important issue. So our speaker is Mr. Harpreet Singh. He's a president and founder of the non-profit organization called Avoid Accident, which works on road safety. He's also the secretary of International Road Victims Partnership. And I think you can see his profile on screen. And before, without much ado, I'll just pass on to Mr. Harpreet Singh to talk about this most important topic about biggest challenge for India's youth as far as road safety is concerned.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you, everyone. Am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Rana, for the compliment also. Thank you very much for giving me a chance to speak with the young people. It's always good to talk with the young people. Can I see my slides, please? Yes. The biggest challenge for the India's youth. You see, actually, as Visakhi said, you must not drive until you are 18 years of age. But the problem lies with the people, the young people who are not at the attainable age of 18 years to get a driving license, but still they are driving. This is the biggest challenge for us. And thank you for telling people that what is the accident. Please go to the previous slide. Yeah. Thank you very much for giving the difference between the accident and crashes. Accident is something which is unavoidable, which is unintentionally, but the crashes are which is preventable. If I am drinking, if I am speeding, then it's totally intentionally. It's not an accident. So same thing is, what is road safety? If we think about the signboards, these are the signs. I think every road user must be aware about that. That is why this picture is giving the different types of signs: mandatory, cautionary, informatory. These have a different shapes. We will explain it later. Can you do the next slide, please? What is road safety? Teaching people how to behave safely when driving or crossing the road, as per the dictionary meaning. The avoidance of danger on the road. But road safety is actually a very, very vast subject. In the nutshell, we can see the road safety. Please, next slide. Road traffic safety refers to methods and measures for reducing the risk of road user using the road network. In 2007, road safety is no accident. This is a slogan given by the WHO in its first Global Road Safety Week. So actually, road safety is no accident, but still the number is increasing and increasing. The target of the decade of action from 2011 to 2020 was to reduce the accident throughout the globe 50% less than, but it has been postponed up to 2030. Up to 2030, we have to reduce the number of crashes up to 50%. This is the target of the global. Let's see what is the scenario throughout the globe. Next slide, please. 1.35 million people are dying on the road every year. If we count in other ways, it is every 24 seconds someone dies on the road. Next slide, please. It is the 8th leading cause of the death globally. Next, please. This is the first. This is very much alarming. Actually, we are only used to see that, oh, there is a, if we read the newspaper or if we watch the TV, we saw this only, oh, one accident happens, two cars collides, 2 people died, 3 people injured. That is our thinking and we ignore it. But our youth is very much adversely affected with this road traffic injuries. Next slide, please. Here is the graph where you can show that what is happening with the youth. If we talk about the death, the road traffic death is the first cause. Next. See the number. This is 4,67,000 almost deaths due to road traffic accident in India. If we are talking about only India. Next slide, please. 1,51,417 people are dying every year. If you check the population of some cities around India, it's Rishikesh, Churu, Barabanki, Greater Noida, Port Blair, Panaji, Darjeeling, Dimapur. These all cities have less than this number, the population of less than this number. So, in the other words, we can say that these cities are vanishing in a year due to road traffic deaths. Next slide. This is the biggest number, even then more bigger than the crashes. Injuries. Injuries, 4,69,418. This is a very big number and it affects us continuously. If I got a permanent injury, I'm a permanent disability, it will be affecting my family, my social life throughout my life. So injuries are, this number is more concerned. Next slide, please. If we translate what happens in India, every hour, 17 deaths are there and 53 accidents are there. Next slide. two-wheelers. Two-wheeler are very famous component of vehicles, which are very popular among youth. If you see the ad, this is depict the mentality of young people, especially in Punjab. The two-wheelers are accounted highest share in total crashes and total deaths. Next slide, please. Young people from the age group of 18 to 45 accounted for 69.6%. This data is from the Ministry of Transport and Road. If you see the picture, tripling without helmet, all these are the behavior of the youth. This is affecting the young people. Next slide, please. We'll talk about what motivates young people to learn to drive. Why they immediately want to drive. In Punjab, we have an agriculture state. The young people start driving the tractor. This is the first their experience in the field, because there is no fear to met with a crash and any police effect and nothing else, because the field is open. So they start with the tractor. So immediately, if we think what gives them the freedom, independence. When they drive, they feel independence. Nobody has to stop them. Nobody has to pick them and drop them. They are driving themselves. Expanding social word. Their word is expanded when they have a vehicle. Kudos. Young people always appreciate other people, other young people. Yes, you are driving, you have a new bike, you have a new car. Career opportunities. Yes, we want to go here and there for the career opportunities. Personal space. This is very much important because they have their own bike, their own car. They don't want to share their space with anybody, especially for the public transport. Cheaper, they count it cheaper, yes. Next slide. Why young people are at increased risk? These are the some major points. Easy driving license. This is one thing. We can get driving license very much easily. And when we get a driving license, and we are very much confident, yes, I am licensed to drive. Please learn driving skills before getting the driving license. Impatience youth is energetic. They are always in a hurry. Influence of the other drivers. If they saw a fellow driver, fellow friend who is driving at 100 kilometers, 80 kilometers, so it thrills them. Yes, I can also do that. That is similarly the overconfidence. They feel that they are safest one. They are expert drivers. If they jump the red light, if they ditch a policeman, then yes, we are the expert drivers. There are some environmental factors like roads, their design, pedestrian and vulnerable user, the roads are not designed for them. Enforcement, we are lacking enforcement. Poor driving skills. Because we don't have a particular fixed training before getting the driving license. So young people are thinking that they are expert, but still they are very much lacking the skills, especially the overtaking. How to overtake, what is the safe speed, what are the safer distance. There are many components of the road safety we are not observing. Next slide. These are the risk factors. Mostly everybody knows about it. Helmet, speeding, seat belts, drinking driving. But there are two more points I would add here: the wrong side driving and jumping the red light. These are also adversely affecting the youth. We will see the effects of these risk factors in the next slides. Next slide, please. Speeding. If we talk about India, it is the major contributor factor of the speed. People said that speed thrills but kills. No, there is no thrill in the speed. Speed only kills. So you have to be very safe while driving, the safe speed limits. Next slide. Please read the number because we are short of time. That's why I'm just quickly giving you the slide. These are the helmets. Helmets, it should be ISI marked. It should not be put in your hand, or it should not be for only for the police. It should be for your safety. If you look at the number, you will find it. It is a very major contributor effect. Next slide, please. Seat belt. We are not used to wear seat belt in the front seat also, but we must wear the seat belt at the rear seat also. We're not, in India, we are not thinking about the child restraints. We're putting child in the front seat in our lap, or if a child is also single, we offer them the front seat. And thinking about if you put child with the seat belt in the front seat, that is safe. No, that is not safe. We should always offer our children the seats at the rear, and also they should be properly buckled up. Next slide, please. Mobile phones, they have made smartphones. People are thinking that we are also smart. Everything is there in mobile, Facebook, Instagram, everything. The young people, I have observed that this Zomato and other people, they think, okay, this is our office. If we need one car, one bike, and one mobile, and we are on our job. So it's an integral part, but please switch off all notifications while you are driving. Switch on to the driving mode so that all notification could be disconnected while you are driving. This is the biggest distract driving. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Drinking driving, it's also plays a very major role. Though the lobby of alcohol is very much argumented with us that our contribution is very less. If we check in the rate of fatalities, and our alcohol contribution is very less, but alcohol consumption leads to very other segment. It instigates you to drive on a speed, on to jump a red light. There are so many components with the drunken driving. So please avoid this. Next. Stop running red lights. This is very much important for the youth, for the school children, because we have been teaching our children zebra crossing is the safest place to cross the road. If I go to school and I speak this, the children will get an impact that one road safety sir has come and they said zebra crossing is the safest place to cross. But tell me, if in my city Mohali there is in the last year 24,000 challan were there for the jumping red light, and if you check this, police conduct this drive only for 2 hours in a day. If in 2 hours drive in a day, we got 20,000 number. So think about how much would be jumping the red light. If road user are jumping the red lights, then how is the zebra crossing is safest place? So it's a very much contradictory teaching to our children. Always think zebra crossing is not a safest place. Zebra crossing is a designated place to cross a road, but you must be very careful while you crossing on the zebra crossing, because studies have given us the data that if there is no zebra crossing, there are less number of crashes, because people don't take it granted. If we have a right to cross the road, yes, they have right to cross the road, but in the European countries, unfortunately, not here in India. So all the children who are listening, please note that zebra crossing is a designated place to cross the road. It's not a safest place to cross the road. Next slide, please. So this is one news in the one state कि 5 लाख से ज़्यादा वाहन अनाड़ियों के हाथ में कैसे रुकेंगे हाथ से. So road safety is not only the behavior fault, the engineering fault, government fault, enforcement fault. It's a comprehension fault. Next slide. Yes. When we talk, who wants change? Everybody raise hand. But when we talk who wants to change, nobody. We can blame the government. There is a pothole. There is a different defect in the road design. There is a speed limit defect. But what about us? Why police need to challan for a helmet? Is it for them? No, it's for the road. Because head is my, safety is mine. What happens if I met with a crash and died on a spot? For the police, it's 2 or 3 hour job. They will report and file the case. For media, it's the news. For a doctor, it's a 2 hour job. And who is going to suffer? My family, my mother, my children. So why we wear helmet? Why we obey traffic rules only for the police? Why not for us? So this is the change we have to bring in ourselves. Next slide, please. I just want to give you there are several components we can bring in changes. You can drive on the safe speed. You should not drive on the wrong side. You should not use the mobile phones. You should not drunk driving. You should not overspeed. I just want to tell you the children who are underage, who are not on the perfect age to get a driving license, but still driving. Under this Motor Vehicle Act change in 2019, every children who caught without a license and is underage, their parents are liable for the penalty. Please note it. Now the vehicle will be impounded and the action will be taken on your parents. So parents should avoid this, giving the new bikes to the children who are underage. What makes roads safer? This is from the International Road Assessment Program. There are 1-star road, 3-star road, and 5-star road. Even in many countries and even India is also adopting, at least we should met with the 3 standard roads. These are different categories for the pedestrian, cyclist, motor vehicle, two-wheeler, and four-wheeler. If you look on the slide, you will be able to know what kind of safer roads are there. Next slide, please. Youth has a very important role in road safety. We are not blaming them. They are making nuisance on the road. They have a very important role. World is recognizing their role. Recently in February in Stockholm, during the 3rd Global Ministerial Meeting for the Road Safety, there is second Road Safety Assembly. There is a statement for the youth. Youth are claiming their space. You can part of the decision making. You can part for the evaluation. You can part of the monitoring of the roads and everything. So this is very important statement for the youth. The slogan came out, enough is enough. The youth is saying, yes, please do the needful things. So I believe you are a very important stakeholder for the road safety. Please identify your role and do participate in it. Next slide. So for me, always we believe that road safety is your responsibility. It's not another, it's your own responsibility. Before I conclude, I would like to share one more thing with you. Every youth, every people who drive, especially the young people, you must know the emergency helpline number. What is the emergency help number in your city? India has introduced a centralized helpline number 112 for all kind of emergencies. So you must remember, you feed, it is an online platform. You can download the app, you can register that mobile, and even you can, there is an option you can feed your parents' number over there. So it's a wonderful thing. Like European countries, there's 911. So we have 112. Please note this number. Always be familiar with that. And the last point, always help to rescue a road crash victim. If you saw a crash, you saw a person injured on the road, don't click photos. Don't make videos. Call the ambulance, call the police, see what you can do. You should not touch the person until you are not trained. So if you have a first aid in your school, please go to the teacher and ask him to train you about how to handle a road crashes over there. What main things you can do on a road? The major role for you is to call an ambulance, to call the police. Don't rush for the accident where accident scene. Save yourself because other vehicle are crossing. So good Samaritan law has been introduced in India. It protects you very well. If you bring one road crash victim to hospital, neither police nor hospital can question you. You could not be, your personal data could not be filed in any record. It's all up to you. So thank you very much. If you have, I would like to have your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vishakhi ma'am, for chairing this session, and Harpreet sir for this very informative presentation. Like you've rightly said, we're all stakeholders in road safety and not just responsible for ourselves, but also others on the road. And as young people, we should enjoy our freedom very judicially as well. On that note, now I'll invite Upinder ma'am to take over the discussion session where the audience has posed us questions, and we'll be asking our speakers as well as our chairperson to answer them, whoever can. Over to you, Upinder ma'am.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It has been some really insightful presentations. And before we go on to take up questions, I would like to invite the chair of the last two sessions. You know, I deliberately, we kind of put the conclusion in the end of the two sessions because road safety and tobacco control among youth is somewhere related usually on peer pressure. And also the environment that children and youth stay in, you know, the habits and the lifestyle of their parents. So I would first like to invite Meera ma'am to conclude the session, and if she has something to add on to it, and then Ms. Vishakhi Malik. And also with that, I would also tell you one question which was repeatedly coming up in all these three sessions, basically, was that how peer pressure can be controlled and how that can be tackled. And if I, you know, kind of reframe that question, I think peer pressure is something that we can also use positively to bring about behavioral change among youth. So over to Meera ma'am to put her final words into these two presentations together, because it is more about the habits and lifestyle that the youth is kind of, you know, moving towards, and with all the environment. And then I would ask Ms. Vishakhi Malik to have her words on that. So over to you, Meera ma'am.
I think that, you know, the session, of course, went very long and all that. But I think we got lots and lots of material. And I was just trying to gauge what all we have learned. But I think that the one thing which I want to say very much is that the role of the adult in the child's life. You know, whether you take the sexual abuse, whether you take tobacco, whether you take road accident, the example set by the parents, set by the elders, set by the leaders in the community is very, very important. Young people should be able to look upon adults in the society, the politicians, the policy makers, the parents, the older brothers and sisters, and you see that we have a lot to do, right? We have a lot to do. We have to realize this responsibility. And I think we would be able to win the battle quite a bit if we realize our role, what our role as an adult is in the society, you know, because, you know, the young people say that you do it yourself. You know, they come back to you and you do it yourself. Even little babies like 3-year-old or 4-year-old, if you tell them not to do something, they say, Papa, you do it yourself. So I think it's very important that before we can say anything to the children or before we can expect them to do anything, we have to set an example for the children. I thought that, you know, the Salam Bombay presentation was very exhaustive. She spoke about such good things, and she also spoke about the role of everybody in the children's life, whether it is teacher or parents or the older sibling or whatnot, and what has to be done in order for the young person to have a behavior that we want them to have, so that we do not have this kind of scenario as we have at present, where so many people are dying due to tobacco use. So many children are getting disturbed because they are treated with such disrespect to their body as well as to their mind. This is all that I want to say. I think that it is very, very important that we realize our duty. And I think, please, please respect children. Do not treat them as children. They do not like it. Speak to them as adults. Speak to them as if they are grown up. You yourself must have realized that if you shout at your younger sibling in front of their brother or in front of their friends, they dislike it so much. So please do not do that. If you want to tell them anything, you have to tell them in private, but in public, you have to really respect them. And from your heart, you have to respect them. Not for showing, but from your heart, you have to respect them. Because I think you would agree with me, there are many things that we learn from children, and it's not that the children are stupid and we don't have anything to learn from them. We learn from them, and I think we should realize our responsibility. I think Supreet spoke so well. I mean, I can have a whole day listening to her. I think this was not a very good thing that we had so little time given to her, because she had a warehouse of knowledge on incest, warehouse of knowledge on how to treat children, when they become victims of sex. How do you speak to them? How do you look after them? How do you keep their mental equilibrium and physical well-being? So this is all that I want to say, and the session was very good, but I think we had a lot of problem with the time today, and I don't think it is anybody's fault. Perhaps the IT has to be blamed for that. Yeah, not I mean both the IT, the tobacco industry as well as the IT, the computers and all that. I was longing to listen to Shirin talk about his experience, which is so rich, and here we only heard about the application, and I am so poor at IT that I didn't get anything out of that application. I will have to learn it sitting down with Cyril. He will have to teach me, but I missed his telling us how he has taken care of the tobacco industry interfering into the lives of the children. He has done a marvelous job. He's the one who initiated this line of tobacco industry interference, and he's the one who has dealt with it very well. Thank you, Cyril.
Thank you for your concluding words. And for today's session, why we only kept the Tobacco Monitor app into the agenda was majorly to let students know that how they can be a part of this tobacco control program that everyone is running through, so that they know their part. Because whenever we do these youth intervention programs, the one thing that come out of them is like what is our role, which I think Salam Bombay has also very beautifully explained, and many of those things could be replicated in other schools in the different states. Over to Vishakhi, and then we have a few questions for Supreet. Also, when we are talking about peer pressure, there's something very interesting which incest is doing. So I think Supreet would add on to that, but before that, we'll move to Vishakhi for her final words on the road safety session.
Yeah, thanks, Peter. I would just say that, road safety is like any other public health issue. Road safety is something which, requires a very sustained and comprehensive effort. So it is not only the behavior of people who drive, or other behavior change that we're talking about, but we also, need a very strengthened enforcement. And then, as I had said that, there is a Motor Vehicle Act which has been amended, and it has great provisions. And as Harpreet also talked in his presentation, there is Good Samaritan law which has come up, and the penalties have become higher, and then there is another aspect of pedestrians, safer streets for pedestrians, and for that we require safer streets, for which there are initiatives around road engineering and transformation. So what I'm trying to say is that road safety is also requires a very comprehensive integrated approach. But when it comes to youth, I will just say that uh, just realizing that something which is wrong and which is against law, I think that is something which every youth should remember. And the simple answer is not coming under peer pressure. So how much ever we hear, like in tobacco control also, and in road safety, that it is very cool to drive, or cool to break laws and all, but it is not cool. And I think we can create a peer pressure which actually says that it is uncool to not follow road safety laws. So yeah, so as Harpreet also mentioned, the youth have to actually become the change agents. Although we know that that they are not supposed to drive below 18 years of age, but I would say that parents here would have a great role in not offering vehicles to children and youth before they have a license, and also vice versa, where children and youth can talk about various road safety and the behavior change that we're talking about, like wearing seat belts, also wearing seat belts at the rear seat, and then there are whole issues around passenger driving. So people who are with on two wheelers, even drivers as well as passengers, they're supposed to. So I would just urge, to cut it short, I would just urge all the youth and youngsters who are on this live stream right now, I would encourage them to Google a lot of road safety news, and maybe read the Motor Vehicle Act, and also look at all the global and national level initiatives that have been taken on road safety. I'm sure they will understand how important this issue is, and how important it is for them to propagate road safety to their peers as well as to parents and others. That's all, Upinder. Thanks.
Thank you, Vishakhi. So before we move to Ms. Supreedaman, so there was one question which really stood out of all the questions that came on YouTube. We have a lot of more questions which we would be getting one-on-one those answers, and we'll try to answer them through emails to the students. But one question that really stood out was, why are our children so vulnerable these days? Are we to blame? So this was a question from one of the parents. So if Supreet would like to put some light on that, and then maybe also talk about the peer pressure initiative that your organization is doing.
Sure, Upinder. I didn't hear the question very well. Can you repeat, please?
So a parent asked the question that why do you think children these days, in today's days, are so vulnerable to so many different issues of safety that we are talking about? Are we as parents to be blamed for that?
So what I understand the question is that the person is asking why the parents are being blamed for the safety of the children.
No. So she wants to ask that, why children are so vulnerable. So she's of a question that, is it the parents to be blamed for that? Is it something wrong that the parents these days are doing that the children are becoming so vulnerable to all these problems?
Okay, right. Upinder, am I clear? Am I loud and clear?
Your voice is breaking.
Is that better? Okay. Am I audible? I can't hear anything.
You're audible. Please go ahead.
Okay. So my first request to whoever asked this question is that till we keep remaining in the loop of blame game, we will not move forward as a society. Instead of finding blame at somebody's doorstep, my request or my experience with my team has been that if we start taking responsibility for our own being and for those around us, then we have chance of moving forward. So again, when it comes to, for example, traffic, if we take responsibility of teaching our children, and while because we are the role models for our children, before we cross the road, if we look on the right, we look on the left, we find a safe time and space, and then cross the road, that's going to help. I'm sorry. Similarly, for the tobacco also, whether it is alcohol or tobacco, children will follow what you are doing. So as adults, we don't have a choice. When you become a parent, that's a lifetime responsibility we have. Similarly, as adults with children around, whether they are our children or they belong to others, as role models, as adults, we have responsibility towards our children because it takes a whole village to raise one child, and we are talking about our future here. Or incest abuse, again, it is within the family. Hence, it becomes even more difficult to speak about for the child. And even when the child does share it with you, as an adult, perhaps you have never been trained to understand how to deal with that situation because both the victim as well as the abuser are members of the same family. It becomes even more difficult for a mother who is not financially independent, who is not earning, and she has a situation where the abuser is the only earning member of the family and the victim is a son or a daughter. However, we have to move forward. Financial independence is important. There are so many elements which come in together. There are so many influences, social influences, which we have to fight. So instead of blaming each other, if we could form a circle of support for each other, if we become the rock for each other, for our children, for the adults facing such situations, I'm sure we can move forward. I'm sure we will have the courage to go to the courts to find a way out and help everybody prosper.
Right. Thank you. Do you want to share the peer pressure?
Yes, peer pressure is something which has been mentioned quite a bit today, and I'm so glad, even though it was not on the agenda sheet. At End Incest, we are not just looking at the sexual abuse, but we are also looking at the overall safety of the children. So we have been actively working both with the schools and colleges and universities. Lately, what we have done is we have designed a life skill program for our children, and we did not just sit in our office and do it. In the month of December, we did an extensive survey asking the parents as well as the children, what is it that concerns you the most? So there were 5 elements which came up, out of which peer pressure was one of them, social media is another, sexual safety was one, career was another, financial responsibility was the 5th one. So with the peer pressure, what we have done is we have done an online survey. Again, it is anonymous for children to fill. I'll be more than happy to share the link with Upinder as well as on the YouTube platform. Or if as long as you are a student, we are not asking the parents to fill that. We want to understand what our students, our teenagers in the schools are going through as far as peer pressure is concerned. What is their understanding of peer pressure? And how do they deal with peer pressure? What kind of pressures do they come across? I mean, we've had the feedback. We're doing a pilot in Chandigarh already, and they're telling us the impact of peer pressure on their leadership style, on their compassion and empathy for others, their propensity to take risk, their interpersonal skills, their lifestyle choices. Where do they go to have a vacation? And have a fourth, a career. How do they even prepare for exams? We are talking about how do they see gender and equality as a result of peer pressure, even the language that they end up using. And interestingly, even in a city like Chandigarh, which is supposed to have a very good quality education, almost 73% of the children belonging to from class 8 to class +2, they have confirmed that they have never had any training in how to deal with peer pressure. And they feel the maximum pressure they feel comes from within the family, and second is at the school. So there is a huge responsibility we have within with the parents, with the families, as well as the principals and the counselors and the teaching fraternity. We can't escape that. Drugs is quite high. The children are saying that they are under pressure to try different drugs. And this is, we are talking about schools. They are also speaking about the pressure of trying alcohol. They are speaking about the pressure to date, but not to have sex. There is a clear distinction. So we want a lot of your students, a lot of people who are listening to this webinar, and they are part of the workshop. I would like that, if possible, across the country, wherever you find children of class between class 8 to class +2, if you could encourage them to participate, because then we want to design a program which actually is based upon the experiences of the students at the ground level. हमें दफ्तर में बैठ के नहीं सोचना कि हमारे बच्चों के साथ क्या हो रहा है या वो ऐसा सोचते हैं. हमने उस चीज को लेके काम करना है कि जो हमें बच्चे बता रहे हैं. And trust me, from very frivolous things like मुझे उस लड़की ने फूल नहीं दिया तो मेरा peer pressure था, मैं bully हो गया, and to really serious issues which the children are raising. So please do participate in the survey if you can. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Supreet. And with that, we come to the end of the session. But before that, the session would not be complete without Dr. Rana's expert comments and his closing remarks as a conclusion for the entire session. So can I please invite Dr. Rana to have his expert word and advice on the session, and also way forward for our next session, which is on well-being, the coming Tuesday. So over to you, Dr. Rana. Dr. Rana, can you hear me? I think there is some internet issue or some connectivity issue. So thank you so much. Thank you all the participants. Thank you all the chairs. We really exceeded time this time, but we look forward to the next session, the concluding session on well-being. And we'll try to cover all those things that remain uncovered in these 2 sessions, and also plan on our future webinars on these issues, because as Meera ma'am very rightly said that, every topic today that was taken, if we talk about those topics independently, we need entire day to actually get into it. So I think we really need a lot of follow-ups. So thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for being a part of this and taking out your time and giving in your valuable feedbacks. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.